How many of you guys have heard this statement? Time is money and money is time. I bet that's all of us. But how many of us actually understand it? Hi, my name is Aditya, and I'm here to share with you something I learned early on. Something that changed the way I think about success, competition, and even my own future. When I was younger, I believed success was simple. You work hard, get good grades, and compete with everyone around you. But the older I got, the more I realized something. Most people don't fail because they're not good enough. They fail because they're competing in places where winning is almost impossible. In school, everyone runs the same race. Everyone studies the same subjects in the same classroom. Everyone is trained to follow the same path, step by step, without ever questioning it. And when thousands of people chase the same goals in the same way, you end up in a system where even the most talented person start to feel average. Not because they are average, but because they're competing in places where nobody is allowed to be different. This is the trap most teenagers fall into, but I chose a different path. At 17, while doing my AS and A levels, I decided to break out of that competition. I decided to do things people usually do much later. I started doing ACCA, a qualification which people normally attempt at their 20s. I also started investing, not with the goal being money, but I wanted to understand how wealth is actually built. I wanted to understand compounding, risk, value, opportunity. I wanted to train my brain to think for the long term while everyone around me is still thinking about tomorrow. I also started brainstorming business ideas, things like SaaS and conveniency businesses, not because all of them would work, but because starting early gave me time to learn, experiment, and fail with no consequences. Now, I didn't do all this because I was special. I did it because I understood one very powerful idea early on. If you start early, you don't compete, you stand out. Most people enter the race at 22, but the race starts way before that, and the people who win are the ones who realize that they don't have to wait for permission. Think about a Rubik's Cube. A normal person only starts solving once the timer begins. They turn the cube randomly, searching for patterns, pressured by the clock. But a speed cuber, like me, think differently. Usually in a Rubik's Cube competition, you get 15 seconds to look at the cube before the timer actually begins. And in that 15 seconds, I can usually look at different patterns, memorize certain solutions, and look at different solutions I can execute. This way, I learned how to solve one in under 10 seconds, and that's exactly how life works. When you start early, you see patterns other people can't see. You take opportunities they're not ready for, and you see 4 steps ahead while everyone is still figuring out step 1. Everyone says, focus on studies, don't think about the future. But the truth is, the world does not reward age, it rewards initiative. And the earlier you start, the more unfair your advantage becomes. Starting early wasn't about pressure. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone. It was about breaking invisible rules society places on young people. Things like wait until university, do one thing at a time, get a degree first, then think about success. These rules exist to keep people average, to make sure nobody breaks out too early, to make sure everyone follows the same path, step by step, without ever questioning it. And the moment you realize you don't have to follow those rules, your life entirely changes. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop asking for permission. You stop caring about competition because you're not even in that lane anymore. The message I want to share is success is not about being talented, lucky, or being gifted. Success is about starting early before the world expects you to. Start early, learn early, build early, fail early. Because once you stop competing with everyone else, you become someone no one can compete with. Thank you.